What's going on, everybody? Welcome to season 2 of Cafe and Views. Season 2 is going to be all about West Hollywood. Today we went to Dialog Coffee and got their Lavender Latte. When you first get into Dialog Coffee, you can immediately see that it's a really popular cafe. When I got there, there was definitely at least over 20 people. They have a good range of seating options outside. Outside you could sit underneath a little patio, or you could sit more on the sidewalk. So there's definitely ample amount of seating available. As soon as you get there, you can wait to be seated and take your order, or you can go directly inside and order from there. As soon as I got there, I thought I'd have to wait, but one of the workers came outside. She made sure that I was comfortable, that I got what I needed. She directed me where to go, where to order. So when I went inside, all I had to do was just wait in line, order my drink. Because of COVID, there's not a lot of people that are able to be inside, so I waited outside, and it took maybe about 3-4 minutes to get my order, which is not bad. And when I was ordering, there was only one person ahead of me, so it wasn't even a long wait to order. From when I got there to when I got the coffee, I would put it about like 5-6 minutes. Let's see if the first coffee holds up to any of the coffees in Koreatown. First off, this coffee it's more sweet than sour. There's a good amount of fruity notes that you can get from this coffee, as opposed to a lot of soury or bitter or savory notes. It's more fruity than anything else. When this coffee reaches your mouth, it's more lively than mellow or sharp. If it was sour, it would be more of a sharp feeling in your mouth, but this is more lively. The first sip kind of wakes you up and gets you ready for your day. It's lively, but it's also mellow as you're drinking the coffee. Like the first sip, the first taste on your tongue, it's lively, but then it goes from lively to mellow in a nice transition. Because I can get a lot of fruity notes, it's sweet, and it's lively, I'm gonna put acidity at a 4 out of 5. Next up is gonna be aroma. Let's see if the aroma enhances the acidity. First off, you're definitely getting a huge burst of flavor in this first smell. You can definitely get a lot of good notes as you're smelling it. It definitely enhances the mood. It's super pleasant. When you first smell it, it makes you want to go in for the coffee even more. Before even tasting it, and if you smell it, brain's gonna tell you, take a sip of the coffee. The acidity, you get a lot of fruits. So when I'm smelling this, I get a lot of fruity notes, and I also get some chocolatey. I guess you could put it like a chocolate smoothie, but a lot of fruit in it. You know, if you were to put blueberries, strawberries, cherries, all that into a chocolate smoothie, that's what you would get, minus the strong chocolate smell. You still get the chocolate, but it's not as strong as the fruity notes that you get. The more you lean in, the stronger the smell is. But this coffee is not making you put your nose straight into the coffee to get any smell. You can get a lot of the notes having the coffee just this far away, so that's a huge bonus. Obviously you want to smell the flavor even more, so you're probably gonna put your nose closer to it anyway. This coffee is definitely bringing out a lot of different notes, a lot of different ingredients. So for aroma, I'm gonna give this coffee a 4.5 out of 5. For flavor, the ingredients in this coffee are pretty balanced. I wouldn't say they're 100% balanced, just because when you're drinking this coffee, you get a whole different range of ingredients and flavors. If it was completely balanced, the coffee would be one-dimensional, but this coffee is multi-dimensional. The more you drink it, the more flavors that you're gonna get out of it. Each sip that you take, you're gonna get a different flavor from it. So as you're drinking the coffee, one note might come out, and then the next sip, another note in the coffee might come out. So by the time you finish drinking it, you're gonna have a good idea of what kind of flavors and ingredients went into the coffee. Pretty much a flavor, you're getting the same smell and taste that you were to get when you're smelling the coffee. So for the flavor, it's gonna be real identical to the aroma. Not many coffees can say that. The flavor is more pronounced in other coffees, and then the aroma might not be there, or might be really minimal. But this coffee does a really good job at maintaining that 50% aroma to 50% flavor. It's definitely not forgettable. When you're drinking this coffee, all throughout the experience, you're going to keep thinking, what exactly is in this coffee besides the lavender? For flavor, I'm gonna give this coffee a 4 out of 5. For body, the coffee does a really good job coating the taste buds. it doesn't stick around for a long time. Because the flavor is so good, it doesn't need to do that. It doesn't need to be attracted to the taste buds. It doesn't need to have a strong milkshake-like consistency. When you're drinking this coffee, you're getting more of a water slash soda consistency. But that's fine because the flavor kind of overtakes any of the negatives that the body lacks. The coffee is really light. It doesn't coat your mouth, inside your mouth, or sit on your tongue. Consistency is still water-like, but the texture, how you move it around in your mouth, is pretty unique, and it's more complex than just normal water. A lot of coffees, you get that sour aftertaste, and the coffee might not be fresh, or the beans might not be fresh. Like the coffee might be brewed that day, but the beans might be pretty old. For body, I'm gonna give this coffee about a 3.5 out of 5. Coffee's sweet, it's not over the top, but I'll put it high on the spectrum in terms of sweetness. It doesn't taste as if there's caramel in it, but there's definitely little additives there to make it sweeter. Just plain and simple for sweetness, I'm gonna give this coffee a 4.5 out of 5. The coffee doesn't hug your mouth, but it doesn't need to do that. A lot of coffees that don't have the flavor or the aroma, they need that body feeling, that mouth coating feeling to make up for it. But because this coffee does a good job on the other aspects, it doesn't need to coat your mouth. It's pretty smooth, and there's a lot of lingering flavors. As soon as you finish drinking the coffee, it definitely does a good job in reminding you that you still need to find out what kind of ingredients and flavors went into it. The coffee's flavors definitely don't dissipate quickly, definitely sticks around. Somehow the water-like consistency makes the flavor and the ingredients stick around and linger. So your mouth is definitely not dry at all. It's coated throughout the process. The coffee doesn't dry out your mouth. For aftertaste, I'm gonna give this coffee a 3.5 out of 5. In the beginning, you didn't really get, like, the look of the coffee wasn't complex like the Malibu latte was, where you actually got that matcha look to it, and it was blue and green and all that stuff. This coffee doesn't do that. There's definitely a good amount of variety in this coffee. There's a lot of flavors, there's a lot of aromas, there's a lot of textures. Beginning, middle, and end are all complex. It's not the same thing, it's different experiences all throughout. Complexity, I'm gonna give this coffee a 4 out of 5. It's pretty consistent, but there's a lot of flavors that stick out, so I'm not gonna give it a good balance score. But that, just because the balance score might not be a lot, doesn't mean that it lacks balance. It's a good thing. I want more flavors to stick out. I want more flavors to compete with each other to overall give that good experience of the coffee. It maintains that sweetness all throughout. It doesn't alternate between sour and sweet. It stays sweet the whole time, so that is pretty consistent. A lot of things stand out. It's not rough, it's pretty smooth. So balance, I'm gonna give this coffee a 3 out of 5. This coffee packs a ton of flavor and aroma, and it just overall brightens your mood of the day. This coffee is versatile, and you could drink it pretty much at any time. I would pick this coffee up in the morning, in the afternoon, any day of the week. Maybe not so much at night because of all the nice ingredients and the complexity of the coffee. You're gonna wanna drink it and enjoy it. Versatility, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. Lastly, forgiveness. I would say all the other aspects of this coffee combined forgive any of the negatives. I didn't really take off many points in the coffee for the other aspects. It kind of all just blends together in a real good way. A lot of the strong characteristics of this coffee overtake the negatives, so overall this coffee is higher rated than lower rated. For forgiveness, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. All in all, this coffee got a 39.5 out of 50, or a 79% out of 100, which is one of the high scores. When you compare it to the coffees in Koreatown, West Hollywood is doing a good job in terms of their coffee. We'll see if they can hold up and maintain that good reputation of having high 70s and even higher. Definitely go to Dialog Cafe, try out their coffees and their other foods and pastries and all that stuff. Make sure you try out the Lavender Latte to see if you can have a better or a worse score. So make sure you guys get the Lavender Latte and then let me know. Thank you so much for watching Cafe Views. Tune in next time to see where we're going next and see if West Hollywood can compete with Koreatown.